Hello, I'm Aniket and welcome to my channel. Today I want to share our experience from a winter trip to Utah back in 2019. The plan was to visit Capitol Reef National Park, Goblin Valley, Arches, Canyonlands, Mesa Verde, Monument Valley. But when we are in the area, not visiting Zion and Bryce is impossible. Once at Zion, we did Upper Emerald Pool hike. The trail offers some beautiful vistas on the way. It is moderate to heavy traffic with an easy grade. The last part of the trail has a little elevation, but it can be done easily. The surface of the pool freezes slightly in winter and creates a nice glass-like look. Next, the bus tour is pretty iconic and it falls in my must-do list. I would also like to hike Angel's Landing, the Narrows, Observation Point, and Canyon Overlook. Each of these hikes take about a whole day to complete, and as this was our pit stop, we decided to go to the next surprise spot. About an hour away from Zion towards Kanab, we have Coral Pink Sand Dunes State Park. The park features uniquely pink hued sand dunes located beside red sandstone cliffs. Little off of Highway 89 on Highway 12, you will find Red Canyon Park. The drive in itself is scenic and you won't miss driving through these red crowns. We applied for the day permit to the most desired spot, the Wave, but we were amongst the hundreds of unlucky ones. When at Bryce, you should definitely do Navajo Loop Trail. My recommendation is to start at Sunset Point and then merge to Queen's Garden Trail and end the hike at Sunrise Point. And here's a bummer. Sunrise is beautifully seen from the Sunset Point. It snowed all night in the area and it was still snowing. The views are amazing, although I would recommend you to find a better day. Bryce Canyon is at 9,000 feet elevation and the road conditions were icy. We started heading towards our main destination of the tour, that is Capitol Reef National Park. We took Highway 12 all the way through Escalante, and no doubt, it is one of the most scenic routes I have driven. The snowfall was adding a whole lot of beauty to the surrounding. The snowstorm continued that evening, so here we are, taking some rest before dinner. We folded the mid-row of Forerunner and tossed in a twin mattress. The next day, it was a winter wonderland. The snow was fresh and we had micro spikes on, so it wasn't slippery. About a mile or 40 minutes later, there it was, hiding behind all the cliffs, the Hickman Bridge. Now we were driving towards Panorama Point. As the name suggests, it will give a nice wide landscape view of the reefs. The hike to Gooseneck's Overlook is not much of a hike at all, and the round trip can be completed in as little as 5 to 10 minutes. The trail, however, does lead to a fine viewpoint of Sulphur Creek as it snakes its way through a rugged canyon 800 feet below. The next hike through the majestic Grand Wash and the spur trail to Cassidy Arch lead to some pretty unforgettable scenery as we explore the colorful canyon country. Grand Wash hike is flat all along and it is heavy traffic. Considering it snowed, the traffic was less, but this is rare. The trailhead is at either ends of the wash, so you can start from Scenic Highway 24 or from the Capitol Reef Scenic Drive. Combining the two trails makes for a 7.5-mile round-trip hike and hits on some of the Capitol Reef's amazing highlights. The trail is narrow and sketchy at places, so caution should be exercised at all times, especially during winters. I would recommend to have micro spikes and hiking poles with appropriate pair of sunglasses that could improve visibility in the snow. And then we reached to a point where we got the glimpse, the Cassidy Arch. Whoa, that was a close miss. The canyon country is even more scenic from 100 feet above. So to summarize, the top things I think in Capitol Reef are Hickman Bridge Hike, Grand Wash Trail, Cassidy Arch, Gooseneck's Overlook. Some things we wish we could do would be Chimney Rock, hiking Cohab Canyon, Frying Pan Trail, Cathedral Valley Off-Road Drive, and the Park Scenic Drive. The Park Scenic Drive was closed due to the snow this season, but the next year we visited again and we did the off-road and the scenic drive. I think spending at least 4 days in Capitol Reef National Park would be best to get the full essence of it. It really is an underrated national park. We are now driving towards Goblin Valley State Park. The geographical theory caught my interest and hence we decided to visit this park. The goblins, known scientifically as hurus, were formed through the gradual erosion of sandstone, which was deposited about 170 million years ago, when this area was situated next to an ancient sea. The Goblin Valley is just a small part of San Rafael Desert. There are numerous slot canyons and adventurous hikes that could be done. If you truly want to explore this region, I would recommend you to spend 7 to 10 days with a 4-wheel drive in the backcountry. The red sandstone and the rock formation would really make you feel like a Martian. There are some lone standing structures in the desert just waiting to be washed away into fine particles of dust. These ones must have witnessed the evolution of Earth. This one monument is massive with a height of about 250 feet. The unique formation intrigued me to take a closer aerial view. And finally, we are at the park which needs no introduction, but just the name is enough. Arches National Park. We spent about 3 days here. The drive has various different types of structures within few miles. It starts with Park Avenue hike with flat walls around and progresses towards 2000 natural sandstone arches, which once were flat walls. The drive does seem like a geographical time travel. The snowstorms that were at Bryce have now reached Arches. It seemed like the storms have been following us. We had less time on this day as it was going to snow later. We did get stuck in the snowstorms for 2 hours in the park along with hundreds of other cars. But before that, we got a chance to see Double Arch, Turret Arch, North Window and South Window. Although my other half would have preferred to stay at the hotel on that day. That being said, we also attempted sunrise at North Window. This is a unique time of the year when both Turret Arch and North Window lit during sunrise. We got a dump of snow on one of the days, so we thought of making a quick trip to Mesa Verde National Park. It is 3 hours away from Arches towards southeast Colorado. Mesa Verde National Park was established in 1906 to preserve and interpret the archaeological heritage of ancestral Pueblo people who made it their home for over 700 years, from 600 to 1300 Common Era. Today, the park protects nearly 5,000 known archaeological sites, including 600 cliff dwellings. Most of the cliff dwelling roads were closed due to snow, so we walked. The experience of being at Mesa Verde was totally different than what I imagined while planning for it. No pictures can give you the impression of 700-year-old civilization than being there and breathing in the ruins. Back to Moab. No matter how early you reach Mesa Arch, you will find people there. I was running at 5:30 in the morning in 8 degrees to find a spot with a hope that Arch will glow. It didn't. We did some viewpoints in Canyonlands and left the area towards Monument Valley. If you want to experience Canyonlands, you would have to off-road on White Rim Road for 3 to 4 days. Biking is a good option too. Monument Valley, a red sand desert region on Arizona-Utah border, is known for the towering sandstone buttes. We stayed at the View Hotel and we did the Park Scenic Loop Drive. Typically, spending 2 days here would give enough time to explore the area, although aerial tour of Monument Valley will open up nice visuals. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end. I hope you enjoyed our little adventure on Utah's top attractions.